Every person's name is in the book of life when they're born. In Revelations, it also says that I will not blot your name out of the book of life, but I will confess your name to my Father and to his angels. So the book of Enoch is for everybody. Following his words is the beginning of understanding. If you know that he is watching and he sees everything, well, that's going to guard each one of your thoughts, especially when you see the glory that awaits his people. Then the wicked, an account of all their works and their deeds, are brought in front of everybody that ever lived or ever have lived or ever will live. Yahusha, Jesus, said, what is done in the secret will be shouted from the rooftops. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge and wisdom. Hello and welcome to Under One King, where truth is king. Today we're going to be going into the Book of Enoch. Most church leaders or pastors, they'll tell you that you shouldn't even look into it. It's not scripture. But the most amazing thing about the Book of Enoch is how much prophecy is in it. The Book of Enoch is a prophecy about the coming of Jesus, the coming of Yahusha, to come and save his world. So I think the wiser thing to do would be to test those books yourself. Only one side of the story is able to be told. Modern Christians, they don't really have an idea of what prophecy says. They've been told by false preachers what's what. We need to discover these things ourselves and not just take somebody's word for it. As the last couple years have proved, that's not working out so well. So we have to rightly divide the words of truth and be good stewards of his word. If you wouldn't mind, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this. It's the only way anybody's going to see this. Write down in the comments if you'd like me to go into the Book of Enoch, a particular area or chapters. So the middle parts of the parables, and it gives a vision of the Eternal One, Ancient of Days, Yahusha, Yahweh, the Father. It describes him in detail and how the glowing rainbow of glory around his throne. It talks about that in Ezekiel, in Revelations, in Daniel, and other various places. It gives glimpses. This, along with the book of 4th Ezra, the books that were removed, they're absolutely necessary to understand what's going on. 4th Ezra, for example, it describes that moment like in Revelations 19:11, where heaven opens. There's the Son of Man on a white horse coming with the clouds of heaven with millions and millions of his saints, all clothed in white. They have their new bodies. This is what is commonly misrepresented as the rapture. This event, it is very detailed prophecy in various books, and that's my hope, is to paint that picture for you and everybody of his goodness and his greatness and just what he has done for mankind. And the deception is everywhere, and that's what really gets to me. Truth is king, and I take that very personally and very seriously. Probably more than I should, but it is what it is. It's the only way to get through all the deception and all the evil. When I started not taking anybody's word for it, but searching the scriptures to make sure that it aligns, and only if there's 2 or 3 witnesses, 2 or 3 different places in the scriptures, do I include that in my rationale and my doctrine and my teachings for what I believe. Jesus is the Word made flesh. It's an error-correcting code, his word, because if there's things that are out of place, that don't align, that aren't consistent, well, they stand out. Things that shouldn't be there, they can easily be picked out to see if somebody inserted error into it. Especially nowadays, the modern versions from the year 2000 on, they really went off the deep end as far as being very liberal with their interpretations, which has changed the meaning. The ancient Hebrew has so much more strength and power and depth and breadth and width in its language, so much more than English or even Greek. Our definitions and our descriptions are even going to be lacking no matter how the best is. So that's what we have to do, is take the consistency of the word and base our truths on that. Just take teachings of people who have a vested interest in things like money and power and wealth and control. And that's not what we're about here. We're about truth. Under one king, truth is king. I'm going to be continuing to do several series on the Book of Enoch to just get it out there. So the Christians are not in error when they say, oh, don't read the Book of Enoch. What really got me interesting real quick is when I used to go to church, I started talking to my pastor. I saw him at a grocery store, and that's right after I read the Book of Enoch for the first time. I mentioned and brought it up to him and asked him what he thought about the giants and the fallen watchers and the Book of Enoch and about how it talks about Jesus. And he got ghost white, and he literally scampered away from me. He always avoided me after that. After that, that's when I started doing it on my own. You do a search in Wikipedia, it says that nobody accepts the Book of Enoch as scripture, well, you can be sure it's scripture. Look into Wikipedia. Alphabet agencies change it over 1,000 times a day according to Internet Protocol data. You decide for yourself. Elon just blew the whistle on how the government and the tech companies are all colluding with absolutely everything. So if you believe what's coming out there on the mainstream media and the general consensus, usually you place pretty good bet that the opposite of what they're saying is true. At the very minimum, what they're saying is skewed with falsehood, or if they leave something out, or if they take you down another path, gaslighting, many different tactics they have. And we have to be aware of all of them because we cannot be deceived in these last days. It could be very detrimental to our lives and the lives of our family and our loved ones. At Under One King, truth is king. Please like, share, subscribe if you like this. Thank you. And as always, have a blessed day.